ನಗದು ವರ್ಗಾವಣೆ ಕುರಿತು ಸಿಪಿಐಎಂ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸಮಿತಿ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸವನ್ನು ಹಮ್ಮಿಕೊಂಡಿತ್ತು. ಈ ಕುರಿತಾಗಿ ಸಿಪಿಐಎಂ ಪೊಲಿಟ್ ಬ್ಯೂರೋ ಸದಸ್ಯರಾದ ಕಾಮ್ರೇಡ್ ಬಿ.ವಿ. ರಾಘವಲು ಮಾತನಾಡಿದರು.
అందరికీ నమస్కారం. Comrade President Baswaraj and comrades who are present here. Today I was asked to speak on this cash transfer programs. I think the interest in this topic came about because the Siddaramaiah government introduced 5 schemes guaranteed by the government before the elections. Now after the elections, as per his promise, he announced the implementation of these schemes and announced the timetable for implementation also. Because of this, a lot of attention was given all over India, and also Siddaramaiah claimed yesterday that it will be a game changer in Indian politics, and also Congress is planning to take this game as election promises in the coming 4 assembly elections also. So there are many people who hail these schemes as a revolutionary step forward in ruling the country, and there are some voices that express apprehensions about this scheme, whether Siddaramaiah can implement these schemes when the state finances are very weak. Will he go back on the schemes after the parliament elections? That is one type of cynicism expressed by some sections. Another type of criticism on these schemes are, even if these schemes are implemented, are they going to help the state to develop? Are they going to harm or prevent the developmental trajectory of the state? That means, are they desirable in the interest of the development of the people and the state? Are they populist to gather election votes? Shall we allow the election tactics of the bourgeois parties to derail the developmental progress of the states? All these types of criticisms are also leveled against these schemes. We can see these different points of view in our press. There is no need to elaborately explain about these 5 schemes. The first scheme is related to electricity, power. Siddaramaiah wants to provide 200 units of free power to the consumers. And the second is Gruhalakshmi, that is related to women. They will provide 2,000 rupees per month per woman head of the family. And this third is about food security. They will provide 10 kgs of rice for each member of the family, apart from the 5 kgs now provided by the center. And the free ride in the buses for women throughout the state, in ordinary buses, except luxury and AC buses. And Yuva Shakti, that is youth power. They will provide 2,000 rupees for graduates and 1,500 to diploma holders for 2 years. After that, they may stop this provision of these. These are the schemes that were announced and that are being implemented now. As per the Assembly declaration of Siddaramaiah, these schemes need 52,000 crores of rupees per annum and they have provided 37,000 crores of rupees in the budget, in the present budget that was proposed in the State Assembly. If he wants to implement these schemes for the next 9 months, they need 47,000 crores of rupees. So the budget provision is well short of the needed money to implement in the coming period. That is the first thing. And the full amount for a year is 52,000 crores of rupees. One of the secretary of the government, he said that 52,000 crores of rupees are not sufficient. 60,000 crores of rupees are needed. These calculations may vary, because when these schemes are going to be implemented, various exceptions will be made. The beneficiaries will be reduced or weeded out through various means. By these means, they can reduce the number of beneficiaries. Thereby, they can reduce the amount of money to be spent on these schemes. We have to see what will happen in future. These are the data given in the assembly. The data itself shows that it is a huge scheme and huge expenditure, and a big part of the budget will have to be devoted to this scheme. First, we will see what benefits we have got through these schemes. Already we have got a major benefit out of this guarantees that are promised by Siddaramaiah. That's a major political benefit. As you see, there are many factors that were responsible for the defeat of BJP in the state, the communal BJP in the state. But one of the important factors that was responsible for the defeat of communal forces in Karnataka is the declaration of these 5 guarantees before the people. Many parties are declaring before the elections, but people believe that these promises are good and they will be implemented. So, because people believed in these guarantees, they voted for, or at least those who are opposed or who are against this BJP government and who have not voted earlier through Congress, a section of those people voted for BJP, voted for Congress, and that gave a thrashing for the communal forces. This is the greatest political benefit that came out of these 5 guarantees. You may not feel a physical thing about this, but this political benefit you should not underestimate. It is not only limited to Karnataka. Now the repercussions are there throughout the country. This defeat of BJP in Karnataka gave a great fillip to secular forces throughout India, and it demoralized the ranks and the leadership of the BJP throughout India, and the repercussions and the waves of these results we can see everywhere. It is one of the factors that pushed many of the opposition parties who have a serious contradictions among them to come together. At least they declared their sankalp in future to work together to defeat BJP. That is one of the political benefits that emerged out of this. Second major benefit accrues to the people of Karnataka. 52,000 crores of rupees as per Siddaramaiah is not a small amount. In a year, if the scheme is implemented in an effective way, 50,000 crores of rupees are being transferred to the common people. It's a transfer of wealth. For the present, it may be from the state, but state, where did it get all this money? Somewhere. Some of it might be from the same people who are receiving this money. But most of the money is freshly transferred to the common people, the poor people. Some sections of the lower middle class also may benefit from this thing. As I go through it, most of these 5 schemes, or all of these 5 schemes, are going to benefit poor and lower middle class only. The rich people can't enter into this scheme and they can't benefit. In that way, these schemes are pro-people schemes without any, what we can say, without any element of help for the rich people. Because even if you take this scheme of a free ride for women, AC and luxury vehicles were excluded, so common women can only travel in the common ordinary buses. So that scheme will help the women only. But during the discussion in the state committee, an interesting thing came up, that most of the BJP and communal forces are using these vehicles to transport women to the temples. So the implication is that this is being useful for communal forces, not for secular forces. That is the implication. We can jokingly say. But I want to say, all our women organizations, Anganwadis and Ashas, they can freely ride and have big demonstrations and big rallies in Bangalore with the same free ride facility. So in any scheme there will be some loophole, something, but you can't say because of these type of things. There is no need for a free ride to have a bus. They can as well pray in their homes and get moksha there. There is no need. But we can't rally or demonstrate in our home. We have to rally, we have to come in buses and transport. That will be useful for the movement also. And that aspect Siddaramaiah may not like also. Even then, it's a sort of empowerment of women. It's not the question of, not only the question of free ride. Women are being drawn into the public places instead of asking them to stay in their homes. They are being encouraged, they are incentivized to move into the public place. So if you see all these schemes, they are poor and some element of bringing people into the public arena is also there in this. So we have to remember that this scheme is not only politically important, but from the perspective of people's welfare, these schemes are also important. These type of schemes and cash transfer programs are not new. Many states are resorting to these types of schemes for the sake of getting votes during the election period. Some of the states are implementing them after the victory of that party in the state. Some of them are diluting those promises. But we have to recognize throughout India, in many of the states, they are promising this type of schemes before the elections. And after the elections, some of the governments are implementing them also. Even the central government, even the Prime Minister Modi, who speaks of Rabdi, that is this West schemes, that central government itself is introducing many schemes on the eve of elections. Many BJP state governments are also promising heaven to the people now after seeing Karnataka results. So there is no political party which is averse to announce this type of scheme. The topmost number of schemes are being implemented in Andhra Pradesh. About around 80 schemes are there. For every caste there will be a scheme. For every artisanal group there will be a scheme. So the type of schemes are being planned and implemented in Andhra. In Telangana also there are various schemes. And here calculatedly, in a studious manner, they have formulated these 5 schemes so that they can attract or they can consolidate their own mass base by the Congress. That is a good thing. But what I want to stress is, bourgeois parties are resorting to this phenomena of announcing and implementing various schemes in the states. What is the political agenda? What is the philosophical understanding behind these schemes? Because apparently they are implementing neoliberal policies and they are introducing populist schemes. Generally, according to theory, neoliberal policies are averse to these welfare schemes, are giving freebies to the people. But the same parties which are votaries of neoliberal policies are implementing the policies which neoliberalism despises. Why this contradiction? That is the discussion among many people. But there is no contradiction. There is no contradiction between neoliberalism and implementation of these freebies. There is an interlink, or there is an interest for neoliberal people to introduce these type of schemes to protect and implement neoliberalism in a more stringent way. I will come later to the relation between neoliberalism and welfare scheme. Before that, I want to briefly state the CPM position on these schemes. First thing is, CPM looks at these schemes from a class perspective, from a working class perspective. What is the meaning of working class perspective? Are these schemes are going to help the poor? Are these schemes are going to help the socially marginalized groups? Are these schemes are going to help the backward regions which are being neglected by the ruling class? In this manner, party studies all these benefit schemes. If they are going to help the common people and marginalized sections of the society, the party will fully support these schemes. But all these schemes are not so straightforward. There are many schemes which are complex. Many times the scheme is devised in such a way, on one side they will help the common people, the same scheme will help the corporates. And also without discrimination of rich and poor, the scheme will be applied to rich and poor commonly. Such type of schemes are also there. Some schemes are devised in such a way, they will look rational as well as communal. So we have to go into every scheme and study concretely and take a position on that. I want to present before you 3 schemes. One is the purchase of cow dung in Chhattisgarh. Chhattisgarh government is buying cow dung from the farmers. I don't know exactly the amount of rupees. Say for example 2 rupees per kg. And thousands of tons of cow dung is being purchased by the government. Is it rational or not? We can say it is rational, because buying cow dung and supplying it as a manure to the people, that will supplement the nutrition of the soil, that will help the growth of, that is the That is the argument put forward. But buying cow dung only, why? It can buy buffalo dung, it can buy some other dung. Why only cow dung? Cow is the sacred animal, and you are protecting the sacred animal in the sense you are protecting Hinduism and the sacred animal. That is another aspect. What shall we do? Shall we oppose this scheme or support this scheme? What we can do only exposure of the scheme, the real intent, political intention of this Congress government. That is the thing. It is not BJP government that is doing. It is the Congress government that is doing. They want to compete with communal forces to attract these Hindu sentiments. So they have mixed these two aspects and they are implementing that. Okay. I read in the newspapers that immediately after the result announced, some Congress people went and washed with urine, cow urine, the assembly. So that type of things happen, but you can't say that it is like a communal BJP. But this electoral politics, everybody wants to use some type of religious symbols to attract people. Congress is also not divided up that. That's another matter. The second type of benefit scheme, you take for example the farmer scheme. Government is paying 4,000, I think central government is paying 6,000, and in Telangana it is paying 8,000, in Andhra it is paying 4,000, apart from the central grant. Here also I think something is being paid. This Kisan Samman scheme, paying the farmer free money for each acre. If you pay money to the farmer on the basis of acreage he owned, what will happen? Those farmers who have more land, they will get more. In one example, in Telangana, one doctor, a famous doctor, he is receiving every year 8 lakh rupees. He is a famous doctor, he is in Hyderabad, he is earning crores of rupees. Still he is getting 8 lakh rupees as money. So when you decide to pay according to the land owned, that scheme is only for rich people, not poor people. About 60% of the rural population has no land. About 2% of landlords own 40% of the land. If this scheme is implemented on the basis of land, it is going to help. So what CPM should take about this scheme? We have to say that this scheme should be limited to poor and marginal farmers, and the rich and landlords should be eliminated from the scheme. That position we have to take. But the governments won't take because they want to help the landlords. The central government scheme, they have put a limit 2.5 hectares, I think. They have put, because they don't want to spend more money, so they have to. So these type of schemes, although in the name of people, in the name of farmers, the distress of farmers, they introduce the schemes. Certainly farmers also, ordinary farmers also will be benefited by the scheme. But more than the ordinary farmers, rich farmers and landlords will be benefited. So that's why we have to take a critical attitude towards that type of schemes. Another example is in Andhra, they are paying 15,000 rupees per child who are going to school directly to the bank account of the family. 15,000. Whether that child is studying in a private school, in a government school, it doesn't matter. And all the managements are demanding to transfer this money directly into the account of the school's managements. And also government is contemplating to transfer this money into the school managements while that child is staying. If that happens, what? Certainly the family will be benefited, family of the children. But the money will go to the management. They will give to the government as well as private. And who will benefit more? The government children will be lured to join the private managements, and the private managements will loot the government exchequer. That is what is happening. So, in the name of a people scheme, the money of the government, money of the people is being transferred to the corporate education institutions. So what attitude shall we oppose this scheme? But the family is getting 15,000 rupees per child. We can't oppose. But we have to be critical. What type of criticism we are making? You give money to the public institutions, not to the private institutions. Or if you want to give money to the private institution also, there should be difference. More to the children who are studying in the government institutions and less to the children. That differentiation should be made. Otherwise, this will be a channel of transferring money to the rich. That is happening to the Arogyasri also. Most of the private hospitals are getting money through this scheme, corporates. So that type of study also should be there. I don't know whether that type of schemes are there in Karnataka or not. So this is, in these type of schemes, in the name of people, the money of the people will be transferred to the richer sections. So the scheme will look as if it is going to help the people, and people also believe that. So people believe that, and people will get some money, although that money may not stay in the hands of the people. So we can't oppose, but we have to critically explain to the people, we have to demand transfer of money to the government institutions so that government institutions can be strengthened and they will provide more better education or better health to the poor people. The last point I want to highlight is the schemes which are universal and which are beneficial to everybody. Those schemes are to be supported uncritically because they will help. Take for example the food security schemes, that is PDS schemes. 10 kg rice for BPL card holders, that is going to be implemented in Karnataka. It's good. Even we demand for everybody, not only BPL, APL, everybody. If Ambani comes and takes 10 kg rice from PDS shop, we have no objection. If he wants to eat 10 kg rice from, how many people will be there? We want a universal application of these schemes, irrespective. Because if you want to limit, select people in these type of schemes, rich by hook or crook they can obtain these benefits of the scheme, but many poor will be eliminated, excluded from the scheme. So that's why these type of schemes should be universal, not selective. But people who are ruling the country as well as states, they say, no, why should we give to rich people these schemes, food, rice and everything? So we are excluding them. In the name of excluding the rich, they will exclude a part of the poor also. That's why we are objecting. This universal PDS, through PDS, if Tata is taking 35 kgs of rice every month, we have no objection. We can take the rice and cook it. How many will be there? These corporates. How much they can take away from the universal PDS schemes. So, in the name of that, you should not exclude other people. These type of schemes are also there, and these schemes should be meant for the universal purpose. This is the other thing. And next, I want to explain briefly about the difference between transfer in kind and transfer in cash. Gradually, all the governments are shifting towards cash transfer schemes, or they are converting in-kind schemes into cash transfer schemes. Why this is happening, I will explain it. Why the government is shifting from subsidy schemes to cash transfer schemes, in-kind transfers to cash transfers. Why it is shifting? Gradually they are shifting. Earlier, subsidized gas cylinder was provided. Later they increased the rate to commercial level, and they paid some amount into our accounts. I think that was stopped now also. So that is one of the purpose. If you give subsidized cylinder, you can't easily take out the subsidy. Now you have delinked the subsidy, the commodity and the subsidy through cash transfer. So the commodity will be given at market price, and the money, the subsidy money will be given in cash or digital mode. So when the link is divided, you can go on increasing the market price without consequential increase in the cash transfer because of dealing. If you want to increase the price of the cylinder, when subsidy is there, you can't increase subsidy, but you can increase price. That will be beneficial to the. Whenever you increase the price of the cylinder, you have to increase the decrease the amount of subsidy also. People will come to know because it is linked. Now if you delink the market price and the subsidy through cash transfer, they can increase the market price, at the same time they may not increase the cash value of the subsidy. So in that way they want to reduce the subsidy amount of the any commodity. So now they want to delink the PDS also. They want to give PDS coupons to you, 5 kg coupons. With that money you can go in the market and you can buy any type of price, costly or. So PDS outlets won't be there, Food Corporation of India won't be there, and Transport Corporation won't be there. All these things become redundant, and government can save easy money. And when you are given food coupons, automatically women are deprived and men are empowered, and they can take these coupons to a liquor shop and buy a liquor bottle, and that liquor shop owner can encash it in at a subsidized rate. They can encash in a marketplace. The same thing is going to happen in case of electricity also. Now electricity is subsidized. The cost price is more, and the Electricity Regulatory Commission or government gives subsidy for each unit. For poor, the subsidy will be more. For middle class, less. For commercial and industrial purpose, they charge more. It is called cross subsidy. They will take more from the rich people, and they will subsidize the poor and middle class. That is the pattern that is followed in the electricity. Now what they want to charge electricity at the cost price for everybody, for poor as well as rich or industries. But the subsidy amount will be given by the government directly to the consumer. It won't be included in the bill. Take for example, if a unit cost is 3 rupees, the poor people will pay 3 rupees. If government is going to give 1 rupee, for each unit they will pay this 1 rupee into his bank account. So that subsidy and payment is delinked there. And the industrialist and the poor man and middle class will pay only 2 rupees. There will be no subsidy for the rich, but they will get 2 rupees electricity. And there may be subsidy for the poor, but the subsidy won't be linked. You have to pay and you have to take from the government subsidy. If government stops what? You can't stop using electricity, but the government can stop paying subsidy. So when it is dealing, the subsidy will be at the mercy of the government. When it is not dealing, you will be using electricity, you will be getting subsidy. So that is the way how the government wants to deprive this subsidy to the people. This is the first stage. Why it is doing? Now no private company is coming to buy the discounts. Because you are paying subsidy and government is not paying. I want full payment if I want to be interested in the taking. So that's why to sell the discounts to the private companies, the government is preparing all the ground of dealing with the subsidy and electricity. If you want to have full payment from the users, you have to install meters. So the farmers have no meters, they have to be installed. So smart meters has come. And the private companies want a rate for day and night, different rates. Their rates will be one thing and night rates of the electricity will be one thing. They want to charge differential rates for different timings. Without smart meter that can't be done. So central government is forcing the state governments to install smart meters. So all these things have close link. First, removal of subsidy, and then installation of smart meters. After that, privatization of the discounts. These are closely linked. Now we are concerned with the subsidy component. So electricity subsidy also will go, and it will be transformed into some cash subsidy. And what will happen to the cash subsidy, we can't say, visualize now. It is going to happen every aspect of the subsidies. It is going to happen for fertilizer subsidies. It happened already to the petroleum product subsidies. It is going to happen for the food security subsidy. It is going to happen to the electricity subsidy also. 200 units. What that mean? We have to pay, even the poor people has to pay for these 200s to the electricity board. And the government will deposit the money of this in the government. This is the thing if this scheme is implemented. Now that there is no necessity of these things. What Jagan Mohan Reddy that is being implemented? No. You pay the bill from your pocket, I will pay the money into your pocket. Why this unnecessary things? If it is going to be subsidy, directly you can give money to the electricity company itself. Why I should pay to the company and you will pay to my pocket? What is that? But it is a rule for implementation of neoliberal policies in the coming period. So here the link between cash transfers and neoliberal policies can be seen here. In the end, I want to deal with a few criticisms of these schemes, and some of the criticisms our comrades also believe in them. So I want to deal with them. First thing is, all these subsidies, cash transfers, various types, are making people lazy and they are not coming to work. Even if we offer more wages, they are reluctant. This is one of the criticism, objection raised to especially rich farmers. They complain against the agricultural labor, and even urban people also complain about building workers or something. So is this true or not? This one thing. You see, if you go through the employment statistics, a huge unemployment is building up throughout the world, in India. Most of the employment is what we call precarious employment, underemployment. If they are fully employed, if they are able to generate incomes to sustain their livelihood, There is no need to supply all these schemes or to implement all these transfer schemes. Can you say that the widow pension is producing laziness? Can you say old age pension? Can you say disabled pensions? They say giving Kisan Samman subsidies to the farmers is making unproductive because farmers are not interested in producing, in developing productivity. But all the reports from Swaminathan committee report to up to the agriculture has become unremunerative. That's why they are reluctant to continue in agriculture. That is the report of the commissions world over, not only here. Even World Bank also watches for this thing. Then how can you say giving subsidy or cash transfer to or free electricity is making our farmers lazy? So factual evidence is not corroborating or supporting this type of argument that all these schemes are making people lazy and they are not involved in management. Most of the critics are themselves are becoming lazy, they are not involved in producing wealth, but they are criticizing wealth creators. For the last, you go through the statistics, for the last 3 decades, real wealth has stagnated all over the world, even in our country. Joseph Stiglitz produced a book, and you might have read Capital by Piketty. Capital by Piketty. Most of the economists say real wages have stagnated. When real wages have stagnated, when inflation is going up, how can people live with the meager earnings without these supports? If the ruling class don't provide all these things, social revolution will come. Revolts will occur. They don't want rewards, they want peace, to earn money, they want to save the capitalism. So that's why one of the important features of this thing is to pacify people. These schemes are being implemented. And without money in the hands of the people, without buying power in the people, why can the capitalists can get profit? It's a contradiction. We have to buy things, then only capitalists can get profit. We have no money, our real wages are not increasing, so that's why they are pumping through all these types of debt schemes, subsidy schemes, cash transfer scheme. They are providing some purchasing power to the people so that we can buy commodities of the capitalists and they can earn profits. So there is an interlink between them. So the criticism of lazy itself is a lazy criticism. In the end, I want to deal with the criticism that all these cash transfer programs, subsidy programs, all these programs are anti-development. And this feeling is not only in the outside circles. Some of our inside party comrades also feel that it is anti-development. First question we have to ask, development for whom? Development for the people or for the rich? Already rich are being going to the skies. In 2014, Ambani's wealth is about 70,000 crores of rupees. In 2024, 16 lakhs of crores of rupees his assets value. So 600% growth was there in his assets of Ambani. So how can you say that there is no growth? Growth for rich is there. Development for the rich is there. So you can't say, you can't discuss development in abstract terms. It should also be in class terms. So these schemes are they anti-development? First thing, if you see in class terms, actually they are a reformistic help for the poor people who are development starved. That is one thing. The second thing, how capitalism develops without purchasing power. After 2008, purchasing power of the people has drastically fallen, and it is a serious problem for the capitalists, not for the people. The decline of consumer spending, the decline of spending by the people is a big problem for the capitalist class. Even today, if you see the newspapers, it has become a problem for China also. It has become a problem for America a long time back. Now it is becoming a big problem for Germany, because people are not able to buy. Countries are facing recession. Why? Some people are very cautious who have money, and many people have no money to spend. So these type of schemes are a solution for the crisis that is being faced by the capital in the present circumstances. It's not a problem, it's a solution for the capitalists. So they are giving debt. If you want car, take debt. If you want to have marriage, take debt. If you want to celebrate the death of your family members, take money. I think they are giving credit for the funerals also. Now banks are giving.
Purchasing a tire for a vehicle. Purchasing a tire for a vehicle.
Tire for a vehicle also. So I think you might have been in EMI mode, everybody now. So why this is happening? They want to pump money. But there are no collaterals for the poor people. Without poor people spending money, the economy can't take it forward. So that's why this scheme. So simplistically saying that it is anti-development is wrong. Another argument that is being put forward is the money is being diverted from developmental activities. So they want to build huge flyovers in Bangalore. They want to build tunnels in Bangalore. They want to build in Telangana. They want to build a huge secretariat and 175 feet of Ambedkar's statue. In Maharashtra, they want to build 350 feet of statue of Ambedkar there. So we see these type of activities as developmental activity, and we feel that this money is being diverted into other channels instead of building roads, building bridges, building other things. We say sustaining people's health, people's education, people's livelihood is itself a development. It is the main development for us. It's not a diversion. It's a compensation by the capitalist class for the crisis. That is one thing. But there is a problem. But the ruling class is implementing. And why did this ruling class is getting this money? If this ruling class gets this money from the richer people, that will be a good thing. We'll welcome it. But it is reducing wealth tax, it is reducing corporate tax, it is reducing everything. But it is giving money to the poor people in this caste transfer scheme. Where did this money come from? It is coming from certain sectors which are very useful for the common people. It is diverting money from the rural development sector. It is diverting money from the education sector. It is diverting money from health sector. It is diverting money from the skill development aspect of the program, and it is giving this 52,000 crores of rupees might be coming from these sectors. If you go through the budget, I think there will be no increase in education, health, rural development sectors. Most of the money might have been diverted to this sector. So that means you are harming these same people in one way to make illusions in a certain way. If you bring the money from the rich and transfer, Rich people are becoming richer. There is no rationale to leave them there and destroy the sectors which are helpful to the poor people, and the money saved from that destruction you are giving help. That should be our criticism. Not against this thing, against the source of money that is being spent on this. So the source should be the rich people. You have to tax them, and from that tax you have to pay these schemes. That should be our criticism. And we should not feel that these are waste schemes and they are anti-developmental. And last point is, that's why you should not fall prey from the there are many intellectuals, well-meaning intellectuals, and all those intellectuals may be secular also. Even American imperialism is a secular capitalism. American imperialism is also. So you should not, because they are secular, those intellectuals are secular, you should not think that they are anti-neoliberal. Most of them are neoliberal, and they don't agree with this class point of view of our party. So we should be friends with them, and we should take their criticism with caution, and we should fully support this type of scheme, and we should demand the state government, instead of starving the education of other sectors, you have to bring money from the rich and pay for the poor. Today I saw in the newspapers, they are going to raise taxes on liquor to get money. What liquor, I don't know. They are going to increase entertainment tax in cinemas, and that also we can't say that it's a poor man's area, but it's a middle class area. Even liquor also has become a middle class thing now, and they want to increase the property landed, not property tax, registration taxes. So real estate may not agree. These are the proposals that came. They are somewhat acceptable, but they have to go beyond that. They have to tax the real estate, they have to tax corporates, they have to tax IT companies in various ways to get all this money. We have to suggest all these things to the government, and these explanations should be used for discussion with the well-meaning people who are developmental oriented. Thank you.